My name's Fabian, and I kind of, for the longest time, I've just kind of been interested in hearing people's stories and sharing my story. Frank is a really good friend of mine that we go back a long time, really long time. So we want to put Frank in the hot seat and just kind of get to know him a little bit. And so I'm going to be asking Frank some questions. If you don't want to answer them, we'll just cut the camera, delete the files, and that way the FBI never sees it. So we'll be good. Okay, cool, sweet. So Frank, tell us your name.
My name is Frank Garcia. Born and raised in Houston. Grew up on the northwest side of town. It was a low income neighborhood. My parents were immigrants, so we're like kind of a first generation here.
Mm-hmm. Where are they from?
My mother, she's from Mexico, and my father's from El Salvador.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been here for an extremely long time. My mother passed away though, unfortunately. And it's just me and my dad now, and just living life, enjoying it for what it is, learning new things, and trying to evolve and grow as time progresses.
Where would you say, if you could just think back, where would you say your story began?
That's a funny question because I've thought about that numerous times. So my story begins in third grade, right? Because my parents worked a lot, 2 or 3 jobs, so we had all the time in the world. So I just started acting out. And I knew I could get away with it. That's the
Got you, man. You want one of these?
Yeah. And I knew I could get away with it, so that's where everything started. Because there was nobody there to tell me nothing. Mom's working 3 jobs, dad's working 3 jobs. So, hey man, I just kind of lay wild, and it wasn't a good neighborhood that we lived in because it was low income, right? So it was a lot of people of similarity, right? So everybody's parents are working, and so you have a bunch of kids running buck wild.
Yeah. It's kind of like Peter Pan, huh?
Yeah, right. It's the whole crew, right? Everybody's just running crazy and a miss, and that's what we did. That's what I did for a long time, even up into my 20s. I hung with the wrong people, did the wrong things.
Is it just you, or do you have any siblings?
Yes, there's 5 of us. I got an older sibling. I'm second in line.
You have an older sister, right?
No, she's younger than me.
Oh, she's younger than you. You have an older brother?
Yes.
Yeah, older brother.
And then I got me, and then 2 sisters.
2 sisters, and then a little brother, right? Yeah. Okay, so it was all y'all. Basically, the older brother took care of y'all, kind of.
Well, no, not really, right? Because at first it was only me. Well, my older brother, myself, and my sister right behind me. The 2 younger ones didn't come around till later on in life. So we moved on to this side of town, and because they ended up going to Fraser.
So, what part of the Northwest did you grow up in? Spring Branch, or?
Yeah, I grew up in Spring Branch, off of Kentwood and Campbell.
Damn, bro, you gotta stop smoking crack.
Man, no more beer, nothing.
Yeah,
I can go get another beer if you want.
No, I'm good.
Okay, so you grew up in Spring Branch, which I think maybe our families ran into each other in Spring Branch in the 90s. There's a story that your older brother got into it, and my older brother and sister were involved in something, but I don't know if that's just kind of like some, like, oh, we knew each other type of thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if our families crossed paths in Spring Branch, because that was kind of like Little Mexico, honestly, in the 90s.
It was that little section. I mean, it was only like 2 apartment complexes, but yeah, that little part, yeah, it was. Like I said,
Yeah.
It was.
So up until what grade did you live in Spring Branch?
Right when I entered middle school.
Okay.
When I entered middle school, we ended up moving to this side of town. Mind you, I'm Dickies and Chucks, and I'm coming out here to the suburbs, and it's like everybody's in Jinkos and Guess, and it's like, man, I'm way out of pocket. I feel like I'm in left field by myself.
Yeah.
So it was an experience, man. It was something I had to adapt to.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't adapt to it in the best possible way.
Yeah.
I acted out even more because, you know, people made fun of my clothes. It was never that we were poor because we had everything we needed.
Uh-huh.
You know, we had food on the table, roof over our heads, clothes on our back.
Yeah.
So we had the essentials. So I would never say that we were poor because, I mean, we had our ups and downs, but I guess those moments, those beautiful moments, they override what you have or what you don't have.
Yeah.
Growing up in the neighborhood, we were all one.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was just, nobody had nothing, so we were all equal.
Yeah.
So that was never a question.
Mm-hmm.
When we moved out over here to the suburbs, it was like we were at the bottom of the barrel, but we had something.
Yeah.
We didn't have what they had, but I never looked at it as
you were like
fortunate, I guess.
Yeah, we're coming up too, you know. Yeah.
So I mean, going from an apartment complex to a house.
Bro, you feel like you're on top of the world.
My parents did, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what that was their dream. That's all they worked for.
Yeah.
And they accomplished it. So that was a blessing in itself. So I never considered myself to be like less fortunate or none of that.
Then when would you say you started kind of acting out and getting into trouble?
That was early. When I was like in the third grade. Only because I knew I could get away with it. And then my parents, like I said, they worked 2 or 3 jobs, so there wasn't none of this that, hey, don't do this or don't do that, do your homework or don't, it was none of that. It was just running wild. But it didn't progress up until my teenager years. Right, I started hanging out with some other people, and it went from petty criming to, it just escalated and escalated. And unfortunately, when I had turned, what was it, 18? Well, I turned 17. I went to the county. I got sentenced at 18 on a 2-year sentence, and I came home when I was 21.
What did you go in for?
Aggravated assault. Again, because I was with the wrong people doing the wrong things. And I felt like I had to make an example out of somebody because somebody stole from me. And I did. I mean, I did what I believed at the time I had to do.
And I think some people outside of, the culture where we grew up, they look at that and they're like, oh, they look at us like, oh, like, we're like we live on another planet. But in reality, like you think about it, it's like it's survival, I think, for the most part.
I mean, it's survival and it's normal, right? It's normal
it becomes
to me because that was the way of life. Somebody outside the box might think that's wrong because their lifestyle was different. Well, I mean, to me, it was just another day.
Yeah, and you had to learn how to handle your own. You had to learn to look after yourself and take care of yourself. Unfortunately, not that I see this as anything like negative, but it's more of like I'm glad and I'm thankful for everything I experienced in life. But we also have to remember like we grew up in a certain way because of a bigger story. We were I don't know, like there's a whole story between her, of why your mom came to America, why your dad came from El Salvador. You know what I mean? Like it's just there's a whole lot more to it. But okay, so you went to the county, you got out, you were 21, and then
no, I went to TDC. I went to TDC. I got sentenced in the county, went to TDC, did my little 2 years, came home. And I had a good little run. I had a good 7-year run.
Hey. ¿Estás listo para la entrevista? ¿Ah? Gracias. ¿Ahora la tuya?
Gracias.
La entrevista, ¿vas a hacer una?
No, yo soy pendejo. ¿Y me?
Ándale. No, that's yours.
Okay.
Gracias, tío.
Yo te voy a traer un caballo, ¿ok?
Órale, tráetelo.
Sí. Ya lo tengo listo.
¿Sí?
Sí.
Ya le sacamos video ahorita a los caballos, fuimos allá.
¿Oh, sí?
Sí. Ahora, pero ¿vas a venir para que te haga la entrevista? Mira aquí la cartera. Hijo de la... Soy alcohólico. So we have to turn this way, right, if we're going to be on.
Yeah.
Ahí está. Pero vienes para hacer la entrevista tuya, ¿eh? Ahora, veras. Mm-hmm. Okay, so TDC, and then what happened?
Came home. I had a nice run. I got back to doing what I was doing before. I did a bunch of residential remodeling. Had my own little crew. And then the market went down, right? And that was the bulk of my business. And because I was straddling the fence the whole time I was out. I was still dipping into the old lifestyles, trying to do right, dipping and dabbing. So when that happened, it just shot me back, and I ended up going and trying to make some quick money. You know that cost me a lot. That cost me 12 years of my life. I went to try to just hit a quick lick. So what I thought, and yeah, everything went haywire. Everything went wrong. And long story short, man, that happened, and that got me 12 years. They got me 12 years. I did. I got sentenced December 27, 2010. And I came home February 9th, 2022.
Yeah. And then we had a beer shortly after that.
Yeah.
So where are you at now? Like what's going through your mind now, as far as like your future, these past 12 years? What's
a lot, right? Because mind you, I'm 40 years old, and I'm starting from scratch again. I'm starting from zero. So I'm paving the way. I'm doing what I have to do, and I did what I had to do while I was gone to try to better my circumstances. When I came home, I went to college. I'm 3 classes away from my associate's degree in industrial design. I came home, got a job, started another school for my electrical, which I mean that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Cause I believe I make great money, you know, coming from where I am. So I'm taking the necessary steps to ensure that I have something down the road. So I dip and dab in different things. Don't talk to anybody from the past because that ain't gonna do me no good.
Yeah.
So the only thing I really do, man, is I work, school.
Yeah.
And that's it. Work and school.
Yeah. And now you're wanting to dive into the film industry.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. The first time we did that gig,
we did a porno. No, I'm just kidding. I think we shot a wedding, right, or something.
No, I think it was Discovery Green.
Oh yeah, Discovery Green. Yeah.
Discovery Green. I got to take pictures. Got to do some things, which I thought was pretty interesting. Excuse me. And then, but that really like kind of opened the doors, right, to a world that I never knew existed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really watch too much TV because coming from where I've been, man, you know, I used to call it the idiot box. Because, you know, people used to just sit there and just watch TV all day and like fucking idiots. So I don't watch too much TV. So, but you know, when we did that Discovery Green, that I was like, okay, that broadened the horizon, right? I'm meeting different people, I'm seeing different things, and you know, we got to do a couple other gigs. Networking was awesome, right? You get to meet different people from different walks of life. You get to experience different things. You get to live, actually, right?
Yeah.
Worry free. And then when we did that last wedding, I was like, wow, that's what's up.
Yeah.
You know, that something small, but it was paramount, right? Because I've never experienced another cultural wedding.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of like, you know, people like us and a lot of the people that kind of grew up on around the same circumstances. That's why we follow a certain path. Sometimes it's negative because we we don't explore outside of our culture, right, or outside of our city. You
Well,
know.
it wasn't because it was negative. It was more because that's what I knew
Mhm.
to be right.
Mhm.
Nobody ever told me that it wasn't wrong, and even if they did, I never paid them no mind.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you know, right? This is my life. This is how we grew up. So, and then I looked up to my brother a lot. I still do, and so I was like, man, I want to be like him. So, if he did it, it was right. I didn't question it. I didn't.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
man,
looked up to your brother too a lot, man. Like I think a lot of us did in the neighborhood.
I didn't question it. I just rolled with the punches. He said it. So, and anybody that went against it was like, nah, you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Mhm.
But it wasn't that it was wrong. It was just more of a way of life, right? Because if you would have put me with the Brady Bunch at that time, I probably would have freaked the hell out. I was like, what the hell is this? Nah, hell nah. But for them, it's normal because it's a way of life.
Right. And I always remember, and it helps me be grateful that, like, I'm only one bad decision away um, from a life change, right? Whether it's a good decision or a bad decision. And so it has me grateful where, like, so many miracles had to take place in order for me to be here right now, right? And the same thing is for you, even though, like, 12 years of your life did go to prison, but, like, so many miracles had to happen in order for you to be literally sitting here in this chair in this warehouse.
Oh no, most definitely, right? I think about that all the time, and as crazy as it sounds, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change nothing, right? Because it's humbled me in a paramount way that it's only God's doing because it ain't mine,
Yeah.
and it's given me peace and understanding that it's just been like it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because had I had I stayed on that same path, I mean, there's only two outcomes: either death or life sentence,
Yeah. 100%.
right? So I mean, I'm grateful for that. I lost a lot, but I also learned a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes some of those lessons have to be dealt with. You know, you have to go through those lessons in order to really truly understand what the greater purpose is.
Yeah.
And you know, after my mother passed away, that was it. That was my epiphany. That was my rock bottom. That was everything.
Yeah, man.
Because I think if I'd have been out here and that would have happened, then I probably would have spiraled out of control or deeper into what I was doing.
Yeah. Is there maybe like, what if there's a kid, um, on, you know, um, maybe experiencing the same things you did? Is there any like words of advice that you have for them?
The only thing I could probably say, man, is keep your head up and keep pushing, because you know it's going to get harder before it gets better.
That's good. That's good, man. Well, thanks for sharing, bro.